All right, great. So, yeah, I have got my PCB taped down, and I've also got my board taped down. I've got my soldering iron heating up to 400 degrees, and I use this to clean my soldering iron tip. I don't use a sponge; it's just it's not working out for me. Okay, and the type of solder is from Amazon, of course, mass mold solder wire, 63% and 37%. And then that flux, 2%, which is great. And the diameter is 0.3 millimeters, which is, let's see, a third of 40,000 is a little bit more than 10,000 or so. Okay, grab a Q-tip, grab my alcohol, and I want to clean, always clean. Good enough for NASA, good enough for me. Okay, then I'm going to put a little bit of alcohol on there, and I'm going to rub. This is the 470. Okay, but I'm not going to use a 470 because even though that's part of what I'm supposed to be doing, I find that I can use any resistor they don't commonly use, which is actually going to be what I picked out with a 30 millimeter, not 30 millimeter, 30 ohm resistor, which is right here. And it's probably not a bad idea to test your components before you solder them. So this here, I'm going to, okay, set that aside. And right there, the blue. Should be able to see that. Okay, well, that's good. That's right there. All right, so now I'm going to test it with my handy dandy X-Tech ohm meter. I've done it at 200 ohms. Okay. We're going 13 ohms. 2 ohms. I wonder what somebody's filming that. 14 ohms. Should be showing 30. 200 ohms. It's 120. So anyway, that's okay. Get this book at Amazon also. I use size 1206. That is 120 thousandths, 60 thousandths. And it goes for all of these here. And it's got tons and tons and tons of different resistors that you go to. Now, when you take out your resistor pad, resistors, go ahead and mark them on the back, right in the middle. If you mark them on the back, then you don't have to squint your eyes to see what size it is. But if you put them in the middle, then you can take off either end. Okay, that's that. Okay, the soldering iron is heating up now. Good. I take these little tweezers, and I'm going to pick it up. But first, I'm going to throw just a dollop of flux on the left-hand side with 2 pads going on these. Imagine 2 blocks with an opening between. That's what the resistor is going to go on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of heat to it. Okay. I'm just going to put a dab of solder on here. You don't want to put it on the soldering iron. You want to heat up the pad and then put the soldering iron on the pad and then add the solder to it. Okay, I've got this here. I'm going to put this to the right. Let's put it to the right of the two pads. Okay. And I'm going to heat up the pad on the left, the one that I put the solder on. Of these tweezers. And then just push it over. I like to blow it a little bit. That's not going anywhere. Okay, now I'll dab a solder on the right hand side. It sure looks like it's good. Double check. I'm going to grab it with a pair of tweezers. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Now I'm going to check from the right hand side of the resistor that first pad, and that should give me my resistance. So it tells me that the pad is hooked up to the resistor. This is so easy. I'm telling you, after you do a little bit of it, you're going to be an expert. Okay. Right hand side of the resistor and 28 ohms. Okay, that is good. So what do? We cleaned it off with alcohol and a Q-tip, put some flux on there, grabbed our tweezers, cleaned off our chip with this little pad here, used 0.3 millimeter solder, again from Amazon. But the first thing all we taped everything down so it wouldn't move. So that's good. I mean, literally, in no time at all, you've got a very nice solder joint. And if people ask, well, you know what, why do you bother doing this? Because you've got all these other things, big LEDs and all that sitting up. Well, yeah, but it may not take up that less room, top to bottom or left to right than a regular resistor. But you got to remember, if you go into production and they make this board, they're going to use what's called pick and place, where the machine picks the little resistor off and it drops it into place, and then they solder the whole thing automatically. And you're not going to do that with some regular axle resistors. You're going to have to cut them down and get them in the holes and all that. So you are preparing for production. Plus, it's just cool. Not a lot of people can do this. But anyway, okay, we're done here.